Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and a little pro sports. This is the PFL 2047 football playoffs. Wildcard game 2. The number 7 Dayton Triangles, owned by John Turnbull, here against the number 2 Mesa Machine. Fresh from their 3-year stint in London, they have spent money to move back to Mesa. Kevin Elias, in his return to Arizona, has seen an offense that has absolutely shattered our scoring records, scoring 33 points a game. A fantastic season for this offense. However, not a good defense. Dayton comes in here with an average offense, but a good defense. They also feature the league's MVP, linebacker, Van Nord. He has scored 11 box score highlights in the fast game. In this game, of course, he could have many more because this is going to be a full simulation using the Play Action Football Express game that I have created using fast action cards and charts. This was designed as this kind of a fast play support game for Play Action Football by Clark and Addison Game Company. I have taken the teams from the Pen and Paper League and I have converted them over. I've done this before for other teams and other leagues that I've had, so I'm pretty familiar with how my favorite football games ratings would work in one game. Therefore, I can do the points per game and have a pretty good idea of what they'll look like in other favorite games. It's not as easy to do with some, but it's pretty easy to do if games are well designed, as Play Action Football is. This fast action game, though, doesn't use any weighted dice curved. It uses, of course, weighted probabilities in the cards. Built into the cards, you don't have to call any plays, you don't have to call any defenses. It's automated. We just flip it and find out. All right, let's get to the real reason we're here, and that is Dayton, one of our 27-year vets. This team has been in the league for 28. This is the 28th year. This is their 28th year. They have 4 championships in their 28 years. They have always been, I think they've always done John proud for the most part. They've always been competitive. They have always provided, even in bad seasons, some evidence of life. And if they've had a run of bad luck, they generally right the ship fairly quick. So this team is quarterbacked by Wallace, who is a champion. He won, I think 3 years ago, they beat, I want to say the MBT in the championship, if I can remember right. He threw for 3,125 yards, 15 touchdowns, 12 turnovers. Robinson, his top back for the last few years, this is really his worst year. Ironically, 429 will be his lowest year with 7 TDs, though. However, their fullback had 398 and 4 TDs. Their fullback also caught 19 balls for 4 more TDs. Davis, their top receiver, had 55 receptions, 7 touchdowns. And as I said a moment ago, they have the league MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year in linebacker Andy Van Nord. And they're going to have to be every bit, they're going to have to get every bit of Van Nord's expertise because Mesa is a powerhouse offensive team. Mesa comes in here winning 10 straight games. They're 12-2. They started out the season 2-2 and then have ripped off 10 straight wins with a record-setting offense. They scored 468 points, gave up 311. They are quarterbacked by Andrews, 3,004 yards, 25 TDs, 11 turnovers. Dunning had 607 yards rushing, their top back, but he had 14 touchdowns, Mr. Goal Line. And their fullback had 843 yards and another 11 TDs. Unbelievable. And again, there are guys scattered about the team with touchdowns, rushing, kick returning, etc., defensive turnovers. Parks caught 43 balls for 6 TDs. Wilkie had 4 returns for touchdowns. Kevin Elias' best team in his history, and Mesa, although they again had to relocate to London for 3 years, and they were owned by a Kenneth Harrington III in London. Mesa was able to again, with that money, bring them back to America. So they were in a way, in a, what do you call that? They were in a loaner situation. See if PFL could benefit from the European market. And, well, as it is, we're back to see Mesa back here. It's fantastic. All right, Mesa's going to get the ball by the nature of my 16 possession rules. I use these rules for many of my own games that I've created, and for YouTube in particular, because it's fast, it's fun, it's easy for people to watch an entire game. Mesa at home gets the ball first. They get the ball last because of this rule, and they'll also get the ball first in overtime. That is the home team advantage. There is no other advantage in these in this particular game, or in my personal games. All right, so Dayton's going to kick this off. Good luck to both of you, Kevin and John. The kickoff is 10. 10 is 13-yard line, so a shallow kick, that is something that's going to make Wilkie. Again, the Mesa Machine have the most dangerous kick returner in the history of the game, second only to Conrad. Conrad, who is our league's first multi-MVP winner. Conrad played for 2 teams back in the day, and he is a legend. Wilkie, can he return this for a touchdown? Yo, 12. Folks, you saw me shuffle him, I think. 12, he did. No, he's going to bring this back 21 with a chance to score a touchdown. 10, 21, and if I flip this, we get to add to it. It's 10. We're going to add another 70 yards to this. I think he just did it, folks. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So, yep. So from the 13, oh my God, Wilkie does exactly what you would like to see your stars do. Unbelievable. What are the odds? Pretty good, obviously. 13, that is a 83-yard, 87-yard kickoff return. Oh my God, the extra point is good. And I'm telling you right now, folks, that is Wilkie's 5th return TD this year. Holy cow, 3 kick returns. So there it is. Wilkie burns them all. Mesa Machine fans are on their feet. That's the beginning of the end of Dayton, maybe. It's going to be a kickoff of 1 touchback. So now, will Dayton learn their lesson? Don't kick it to Wilkie, right? Kick it out of bounds. Kick it, kick it into the end zone. Kick it to an up man. Dribble it. Do something to keep it out of Wilkie's hands. This reminds me of the Bears in 2006. Or the Packers in 96, when teams would kick to Howard, or teams would kick to Hester, and they would pay the price, and then you're like, why did you do that? Why did you kick it to them? Well, Boise, it was auspicious. Boise fumbled their opening kickoff away and gave San Diego the lead. Here, the Mesa Machine aren't having any of that, and they have an auspicious start versus the inauspicious start of my brother's team. All right, Dayton Triangles with Wallace and Robinson go to work. It's going to be a run for nothing. 2nd down. They don't have any bonus at all on offense. It's going to be a run of 5. Defense comes into play, no bonus, so 5-yard run. So they're sticking with the ground with Robinson and that fullback. 3rd down is going to be a pass. Defense, no modifier. 34. Big strike plus nothing. 10, 20, 30, and 4. Puts him at the 45 of the enemy. And Wallace finds Davis down the middle of the field. It's going to be a run for nothing. 2nd down. So they're pounding the rock. It's going to be a pass for 7, complete for 7 yards down to the 34. 3rd down and manageable. Can they get it? It's going to be a run for nothing. 4th down. We are in field goal range. 70%. Do we kick it? I think we do. We're on the road against the highest scoring team. You know what, though? They returned a kickoff for a TD already. They haven't even gotten their offense hot. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go for it. Dayton's got to play to win, and the only way you're going to beat these guys is scoring touchdowns. You're going to have to match them. They have a 0 defense. They have a brilliant offense. So they're going to have to go for it. I don't think a field goal is going to do much for Dayton here. And I just have a feeling they're going to miss it. They're at the 34, 70% chance. Yeah, they can make it on a 4-5. They can make it on a 4+. God, I'm tempted to kick it because you never know what's going to happen. They have Anthony, who's missed more field goals this year than anybody. No, we're going for it. I just don't think Barnhart, the coach of the Dayton Triangles, is going to give Anthony, who's had a bad year, the ball here. Okay, let's see what they can do. They snap the ball. It's a run. It's a handoff up the gut. Offense, no modifier, 5 yards and a first down. They get it, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, down to the 29, and the crowd here stunned as Dayton hands it off to Robinson. Robinson, a couple of years ago, is one of the top backs in our league. He was solid again last year. This year, his numbers are down. His touchdowns are fine, but their fullback has really added to this team. Snaps the ball. It's going to be a run for a first down. Defense has no modifier. First down, handoff. That's got to be the fullback who's joined this club. And again, I may have to start naming all these guys. Snaps the ball. It's going to be a flag, folks, but it is a run for 6. The flag is 7. 7 on the penalty is offense. 15-yard post play. So they get their 6, folks, but then it costs them unsportsmanlike, maybe spiked the ball or somebody grabbed a face mask at the offensive line. They're going to go back 15 out to the 28. First down, actually after the play, second down and long. Dayton back to field goal range, just like that. The crowd here in Mesa loves it. The Dayton is 7-6-1. Those are the kind of mistakes that a 7-6-1 team makes against a team that hasn't lost in 10 weeks. They snap the ball. It's going to be a pass completed, though. Beautiful offense. No modifier. 27-yard strike to that tight end. 10, 20, down to the 1-yard line. First and goal is Wallace. Again, the Mesa Machine have one of the worst defenses in the league on paper. They didn't have the worst defense on as far as actual scoring, but they are not very good. Here it is. It's going to be a run for 2 and a touchdown. We're going to give that to Robinson here. He is a star bat. A 1-yard run, and the extra point is good. What a game, folks. It's 7-7. So we risked it and went for it and got it. He then got a 15-yard penalty, then threw the big pass down to the 1-yard line, and they punch it in. Kickoff is 7. 7 is to the 7-yard line. Wilkie is dangerous. They learned their lesson? 2. Hammer Wilkie after 11. So maybe this was up to an updack, or maybe they kicked this to the second return man. Wow, there it is. Mesa Machine and Dayton are in a 7-7 tie in the first quarter, midway through the first quarter. Mesa's first example of offense here, and they go to work. It's going to be it's a breakaway chance at a touchdown. Offense +3, so 16-yard run. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, but they could break away and add to this. They do. 6 is going to be 30 more yards, 10, 20, 30, and there it is, folks. That is that explosive offense that led the league. Mesa Machine already flips the field over, and Van Nord cursing his teammates to contain the edges against Dunning. It's going to be a pass for 8. Offense adds 3, 11 yards. First down. So Mesa is looking really good right now. It's going to be a run for a -1. Dayton's Van Nord comes in head down and buries Dunning in the backfield. The crowd here okay with it. I mean, you're going to have some bad plays, aren't you? Second down and 11. Snaps, turns, hands off to Dunning. He skips around the end for 16 yards. 10, 16, first and goal at the 10. The crowd roars. Andrews comes out, calms the crowd. Snaps the ball, drops back, looks, fires it into the end zone. Incomplete, second down. Mesa Machine, the crowd calm, snaps the ball, hands it, turns it, hands it off to the fullback. Fullback's going to rumble for 4, -1, 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. Van Nord sticks his nose in there, cuts him down after only a 3-yard pickup. The crowd now getting nervous. It's third down. They snap the ball, drops back, turns, hands it off for 1, +3, 4 yards. It's going to be cut down at the 3. Van Nord gets up with a hand pump and wags his finger across the field at the coaching staff of Mesa, says, no go. Van Nord, the league's defensive MVP. They're going to kick the field goal, and it's good. So Nutter, one of the best kickers in our history, Nutter hits a short kick of 20 yards and gives them the lead. Again, this team scored on a record number of actual quarters in football. And in the fourth quarter this year, outscored four teams. In one quarter, outscored more than four teams in the season scored. So that's how impressive Mesa is. Kickoff 3 is a touchback. So again, Dayton, ball goes through the end zone. They take a knee. And here we go. Wallace goes back to work. They are down by 3. They've got to be thrilled to only be down by 3 against the best offense in football, and after giving up a kick return to start this game. The Dayton Triangles go to work. It's going to be defense, no effect. 9-yard run for the man, Robinson. So they're using their backs, baby. I love it. By the way, Barnhart is a smash mouth coach. The Mesa Machine is balanced. So we're seeing Dayton pound the rock here. They snap the ball. It's going to be a chance at a fumble. Defense, no modifier. 8, we got to see if it's lost. Offense 1-6. Yep, the defense recovers. So they run for 8. That's too bad. They run for 8 up to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to the 37 before the ball is taken away. And that wraps up the quarter as Robinson, who scored a touchdown, has now had the game's first turnover. And it's even. That is Farmer, their linebacker Farmer, with a fumble recovery. Let's check the fumble return of 5 is 15 yards. So Farmer scoops it up and goes 15, 10 down to the 22, and the crowd here in Mesa roaring. It's Sun Devil Stadium is where these guys play. They're taking advantage of the Sun Devil Stadium here while they build a new stadium. Robinson with a fumble. Folks, we're going to be seeing Dayton at 7, Mesa at 10, and we've seen the first quarter end on an inopportunistic, with a fumble. We got to shuffle everything. You're supposed to shuffle these between quarters. That keeps everything fresh. If you don't, then you won't get enough opportunities at turnovers. You won't get enough opportunities at big plays. You won't get enough penalties showing up. So there are some, although the game is very fast, very simple to play, very automated, there are certain things you have to do to guarantee the balance, the randomness of it, so to speak, but also that every team has a chance to see certain events. And that's what keeps it fresh. That's what keeps it feeling like a full football simulator. If not, now you could play it straight off the top of the deck, and it'll be fine. It's just you might find it either too how do I say this? You're going to find it where the games are too similar. Every game you play will be too close, too similar in results, if that makes sense. So you need to shuffle and separate, because the big play touchdown opportunities might end up out of the game, and that's what sets the tone for the quality of this game, right? Or you could have those shootout games where there's every quarter you end up with big plays in the deck, which makes for an exciting shootout. But if you just flip through the deck, you're going to see everything come up at least twice, and then it's just going to create a sense that every game is similar, right? If that makes sense. This is the problem with FACs. They really need to be random to some degree, or they need to be built to that they achieve a certain thing in the time that they exist in the game, if that makes sense, right? Anyway, Mesa Machine, following a fumble and a big return by Farmer, they go to work, and this team does not need help, and Dayton has given them help here, and so this could be ugly for Dayton as the game wears on. It's going to be a run for 1. Their offense adds 3, so for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they went from 1 to the league average of 4. Snaps the ball, drops back, looks, pats, floats to the right, flicks it out. It's going to be his touchdown strike to Parks. And just like that, Andrews doing what he's done all year. That's his 27th or 26th touchdown pass. Andrews with an 18-yard pass to Davis. And the PAT is good. And that is points off turnover. And Dayton now recognizes potential problems. Touchback, another kick through the end zone, as Mesa Machine and Nutter are not going to risk any cheap scores by Dayton's return men. Here we go. Dayton goes to work. He drops back, turns, hands it off. They're going to pick up 2 yards. 2nd down and 8. Snaps the ball, drops back, turns, hands it off to the fullback, picks up 2 more. 1, 2, 3rd down. Snaps the ball, drops back, hands it off. Offense, no modifier, 2 more yards. 1, 2. So this smash mouth team, 3 runs in a row, averaging 2, 2, and 2. They're going to have to punt. Unbelievable. So Dayton has to punt, but it's better than a turnover. Turnover flag. Oh, this might mean something for Dayton. The punt is 11. 53-yard punt. The return, we check the flag at the end of the play. This flag goes up in the middle of action. The return is 8 to the most dangerous man in football, 7. So it'll be a 46-yard net, but the flag is 11. And that 11 is defense. Holy cow, 10 yards and a 1st down. So it's basically a defensive 1st down. So it's going to be a illegal contact. They did something, roughing the passer. 1st down. What a way to go. Mesa Machine at home, hammer the punter and get 10 plus. Well, there it is, folks. They're going to get the 1st down on that play thanks to a Mesa Machine rare mistake by the Machine at home. The crowd doesn't like it. They're booing, but Dayton breathes a sigh of relief. They're going to have to open it up more with Wallace. Snaps, drops back, looks, incomplete. 2nd down. Wallace can't find a man. Snaps the ball, pass, incomplete. 3rd down. They ran for, now they're pass. Snaps the ball, drops back, turns, hands it off to Dunning on a draw. He's going to get 5. No defensive effect. Up to the, let's see here, 5, up to the 41. It's 4th down. They're going to have to punt anyway. So I'll leave that punt mark there. 5. The punt is 41. 10, 20, 30, 41 to the 18. Now here's the dangerous part. Return of 6. 3 yards. Good job. 1, 2, 3. So Dayton's punt coverage covers that. They end up punting after that flag comes up in the middle of the play. And remember my rule, no matter where a penalty shows up, at any card flip, a penalty counts. You just have to make sense of when it's counting, right? It's either going to tell you immediately what it is, which means it was a pre-snap penalty, or you're going to have to go and check. So no matter what you're looking at, if a flag comes up. Now, if you're just checking the random number to see which player catches a pass or something, then no, you would not sweat the flag. All right, midway through the 2nd, Dayton has one thing going for them. They've held the score down. It's 17-7. However, remember, Mesa averages 33 points a game. They're already on pace to get that. They snap the ball. It's a run. Defense -1. Van Noord cuts down Dunning in the backfield. 2nd down, it's going to be a completion for 5. Offense plus an 8-yard completion up to the 28. 3rd down and 3. Snaps the ball. It's a run for 1. Offense gets in there +3. They're going to get it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Van Noord comes in late on that play. Once they've gotten the blocks they need to wiggle through for the 1st, Van Noord comes into action, but too little, too late. It's going to be another run. This time defense, 6 yards. 6 up to the 38. 2nd down. Van Noord helps, snaps the ball. It's going to be a fumble. Van Noord hits him hard. It's a 6-yard carry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ball is loose as Van Noord comes storming in. 2 is going to be recovered by the offense, though. Big hit by Van Noord. Ball pops loose. That could have been a hit by really anybody, but Van Noord is their MVP. So, wow, Mesa Machine dodge a huge bullet there. Boy, did Dayton need that. They're down 17-7. They needed that takeaway. They snapped the ball. Flag, defense, penalty. So before the ball can be snapped, somebody enters the, unabated to the quarterback. It's 1st down over. Mesa Machine getting help from Dayton now as they're getting frustrated. They snap the ball. It's a pass. Defense, -1 from 14 yards. 10 down to the 37. Outstanding play by Andrews as he waits until his man clears and throws a bullet in the middle of the field. Snaps the ball, drops back. Here he comes, folks. Pow, hammered. Who gets the sack? Van Noord. Remember, I check odd or even. Odd, it's the lineman. Even, it's the linebacker. The Dayton's linebacker, Van Noord, records the game's 1st sack. Loss of 5 + 1, so loss of 6 yards. down to the, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 42, second down and long. And they have to help Andrews up as Van Noord came flying through there and clobbered him. Snaps the ball, drops back. He's got protection. He fires a short pass for 8 yards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's third down, and they lost 6, got 8. So it's third and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, third and 7. Snaps the ball, hands it off. There's a flag, yellow on the field. 6, offense 9 yards and a first down carry. The flag is on 12. Defense. Holy cow, another big penalty against Dayton to keep a drive alive. Holy cow, Mesa Machine had a 9-yard run, but we're taking that penalty for 10. Snaps the ball, it's going to be a run. Defense, 3 yards. Van Noord slows him down, 1, 2, 3. Second down and 7. Snaps the ball, it's a run for nowhere. Van Noord clubs him in the middle there as he tries to wiggle through between the right guard and the center. Third down, snaps the ball, drops back. It's a handoff on Andrews, the quarterback, takes off on a run for 7 yards and a fumble. 7's going to give them the first down, but their ball is on the ground. 8 is going to be the defense takes it away. Andrews with a fumble loss recovered by Van Noord. Oh my God, Van Noord with a huge, there it is, folks, our Defensive Player of the Year, fumble recovered. His return, 11, epic. He takes off with it and goes out 7 yards, but that's fine. 7 yards up to the 21. Dayton needed that desperately, as another score would have put Mesa up by 3 scores. So they had to find a way, and Van Noord hammers Andrews on a quarterback scramble and strips the ball, falls on it and recovers it, returns it 7. Here we go. Can Dayton score to make this interesting? Drops back, it's a handoff for 9 yards. Yep. Second and 1. Snaps the ball. It's a pass down the field. Incomplete. He took a shot deep. Third down and 1. Snaps the ball. It's completed for 15, 10, 15, up to the 45. The crowd here now getting nervous as Dayton is a wily team. They've been around for 28 years. They know what they're doing in the big games. Snaps the ball. It's a run for nothing. Second down as they hammered Robinson in the backfield. Snaps, turns, hands it off. Robinson kicks to the right and rumbles out for 8 as he leaves a man standing in the hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It is third and 2. Robinson gives them a dead leg and bounces outside, locking Farmer in place. Here we go. It is third and 2. He snaps the ball, drops back, turns, hands it off to the fullback, who plows ahead for 13 yards. 10, 11, 12, 13. And Dayton, their fullback, had 400 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns this year. Fantastic dual threat in the backfield. And the fans here now getting as loud as they can in Sun Devil. They want to put pressure on Dayton's quarterback. Wallace comes in. They keep everybody in tight. This is a smash mouth football team. They snap the ball. They run for nothing. Second down. They got to be a little more aggressive. So it was a quick handoff up the gut. Got nothing against Farmer and Larkin. They snapped the ball. It's going to be a run again, folks, for 2. 1, 2. Remember, they don't have any offensive modifiers. So when they get that, this team would be getting bonuses. This team is not. So that's the difference between, in play-action football, between great offenses and not so great offenses, or defenses too. All right, third down. They got to put the ball in the air. Wallace spreads him out, wags a leg with this crowd noise. That snaps the ball. It's going to be a drop-back pass. He looks for the end zone, incomplete. Fourth down. Wow, they're going to have to kick a field goal here. 32. Let's see, 32. So that means they have to flip a. They will have to flip a 5 or better to make it, but they got to do it. They're down by 17. 8. It's good. So Anthony, who's had a rough year, hits a 49-yarder before the half. Anthony, so the coach Barnhart says, "I got faith in you, Anthony. We're not going to be able to win this championship without you. Go out there and right this ship, as you have had a rough year." And Anthony, the veteran in his 5th year, nails it, 49 yards. What a brilliant game. So Mesa had scored on a touchdown pass, made it 17-7. Then there was a punt. Then there was a fumble loss. Van Noord scoops it up, and they get down the field close enough that Dayton can make it a 7-point game in Mesa's house. Sun Devil Stadium lit here, folks. But the Dayton Triangles get the ball coming out after the halftime chat. So Barnhart goes in, smash mouth coach, does some chatting it up with Wallace, tells him we're going to continue to do what we're doing, but we need you to open it up and be a little more accurate. I don't know. I haven't been tracking stats, but it seems to me there's been a lot of incompletes come up for the quarterback of the Dayton Triangles. The Mesa Machine, on the other hand, are exactly on pace to do what they did all year, 33 points a game. They've got 17, another 17, and they will have met their numbers, which are, again, 33 points a game. So they just want to continue what they're doing and not allow Dayton. See, Dayton has no bonus here, and the Mesa Machine have no negatives. So that's a break even. Whatever the cards say are what Dayton gets. They don't get any help from their offense, and the Mesa Machine can't hurt them on defense. But on the other side, Mesa can add 3 yards to every single play when their offense comes up, and Dayton can take away yardage when their defense comes up. So it is definitely a game of defense versus offense here. And the problem is, for Dayton to pull this off, they have to avoid all turnovers, and they have to hope Mesa shoots themselves in the foot more than once. All right. And let's see if they can return the favor with a kickoff return of their own, as Wilkie has recorded his 5th. I don't really need to do this. I'm not really counting the cards. I use possessions. But if you were using the deck as plays, you would want to make sure there's 30-30. All right, there we go. Or 32, whatever the cards are now. I think the cards are 34 with penalties. So I think it's 32 and 32, something like that. All right, so Mesa kicking it off. 10. It's going to be a shallow kick. Here's a chance for the Dayton Triangles to get a big return. 9. It's going to be returned 18 out to the 31-yard line. Very nice. Dayton Triangles set up beautifully here. And there's a chance here for Dayton to get the job done. Dayton goes to work. Picked off. Well, we just talked about needing to open it up, but Wallace is going to make a big mistake here and throw an interception. That interception goes 3. Intercepted down the field. Oh, batted backward. -3. That means Larkin or somebody batted it into the air. 1, 2, 3. Holy cow. Now I flip to find out who picks it off of their stars. It's going to be Farmer. The linebackers had a fumble recovery today, and now he's got an interception. Intercepted. And his return is flagged. That's what you want to see, because the chance this is coming back. Returns at 5. 5 is 15 yards for Farmer, but the flag, okay, that one is offense. It's going to be offsetting. We've got to do it over. Well, maybe not. Let's find out what the other flag is. The other flag is 7. 7 is offense 15, so it is an offsetting penalty. Wait, this was a pre-snap offense. Flag, and then pre-snap, and then the flag itself was on offense. So no, they get the choice. They're going to take the interception, return back 15, 10, and they're going to decline both those penalties. The flag for pre-snap motion. So the Dayton Triangles come out and do everything they can to screw themselves on that. They have a pre-snap penalty that isn't the whistle isn't blown, but it's noted as they snap the ball. Wallace throws a pick. Farmer picks it off, intercepted by Farmer. And then on the return, they suffer a 15-yard penalty. What was it? Offense. We had to add to that. I forgot. So 15, half the distance to the goal. They're going to have it at the 7. First and goal to 7. It's a 15-yard penalty, which is added on. So must have grabbed the face mask of Farmer and twisted him down. Wallace probably traces him down. An angry quarterback grabs that face mask to pull Farmer to the turf, and they're going to get flagged for 15. Because that would be after the play. And the play was intercepted. Wow, Mesa Machine did not need help. And the Dayton Triangles now have just shot themselves in the foot. They snapped the ball. It's going to be a run for 1 yard. Van Noord in there tight, pulling down the fullback of the Machine. Snaps the ball. By the way, the fullback, Machine of the fullback had 843 yards and 11 touchdowns. He was actually better than most teams starting back. So Mesa has 2 high-scoring backs, and they have 1,400 yards rushing between them. So this offense was just amazing. Run for 3, thanks to that offense. 1, 2, 3. Third down. That would have been the big fullback. Here it is, folks. 3rd and goal. They snap the ball. It's pass incomplete into the end zone. Looking for the tight end. Is batted away. 4th down. And they're going to kick a field goal here. And it is good. And so, again, Nutter and company. Again, Mesa's just going to steady you. And every time you make a mistake, they're going to punish you for it. And they're going to get their 33 points. I can feel it. Dayton with a kickoff. It's going to be 10. 13-yard line. Another great chance for Dayton to be a big return here. Nope. It's going to be a flag. 5 defensive penalty. And 12. It's a touchdown chance. 21 yards. 10-21. And then we add to this 4. 4 is going to add. Oh, it adds nothing. So that's the end of their return. But they are going to see a defensive penalty of 5 before the kickoff. That would have been somebody jumping before the kick. They're going to decline it, and they're going to take this ball right here. As that would have been a pre-snap, so that penalty would have come by somebody jumping the gun before the kick, and they just waved that off. Wow, Dayton with a great return, almost returned that for a well, it could have been a big return, not necessarily a touchdown. There's a big return. Wow, but once again, Dayton cannot afford to make these mistakes. They snap, they turn, they throw. Wallace now incomplete, so he's throwing a pick, and he's throwing an incomplete pass in his last 2. Dayton needs to get back to what they do best, which is run the ball. They snap. Yep, they're going to run for nothing, though. 3rd down. As the Mesa Machine are prepared for this. Snap. It's going to be a pass for 13 and a first. 10, 11, 12, 13. Up to the 47-yard line. Dayton looking good. They snap the ball. He drops back, hands it off to Robinson for 2. 1, 2. 2nd down. Snaps the ball, turns it to pitch out. He hits the edge. Defense doesn't play a role. 6 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 3rd and 2. As Dayton starting to get that running game going. They snap the ball, turn. He play action, rolls to the right, fires it incomplete. Wallace has had a miserable day. Incompletions, interceptions, and a fumble lost. Or is that Andrews that fumbled the ball? Who is that? It was Andrews that fumbled the ball. 4th down and 2. Again, they don't have a choice. This is the top scoring offense. They have got to keep up. Dayton's going for it. The crowd boos and roars on their feet, trying to make it hard. Wallace uses his knee to send a man in motion, flicks his foot, and Robinson crosses from the I formation into a near formation. They snap. Could be a dive. No, he drops back, gets protection from both backs, fires it for 13, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wallace finally completes a pass. 1st down. They keep in Robinson and their fullback for pass protection. He fires a 13-yard strike. Snaps the ball. It's a run up the gut for 1 yard. 2nd down and 9. Snaps the ball. It's a run again. Defense can't affect play. 1st down yardage, it says. 9 yards. 1st down. And they're smash mouthing now. Now's a nice time to mix in a play action pass. They snap the ball. Yep. Play action. No bonus. 7-yard strike. Down to the 15. 2nd and 3. They snapped. Dayton looking good now. Run. Handoff up the gut for 5 in the 1st down. They're down to the 10. 1st and goal at the 10. The crowd here roars. And they do not like what they're seeing. Dayton's getting their stuff together. They snap the ball. Pow. Hand it off. Gets hammered in the backfield. No game. 2nd and 10. Snaps. Turns. Fires into the flat. He turns it upfield for 15. Touchdown. Bouncing into the end zone is Robinson out of the flat. Wallace makes up for the interception with a 10-yard pass to their top back, Robinson. PAT is epic here. It's big, and it is good. PAT. And, folks, the Dayton Triangles won't go away. They snap the ball. It's going to be 1 touchback, so there's no chance that Wilkie can burn them for a touchdown. We've already seen that. The final drive of the 3rd quarter, Mesa Machine are sitting in position. And it is 20-17, folks. And it may be that Mesa is going to allow them to hang around. That's not good. They snap the ball. It's a run for nothing. 2nd down. Van Noord plugs the hole, burying their fullback. Snap. They turn. They pitch it outside. He gets 10 yards. Van Noord can't make up the foot speed as Dunning skips around the end, steps out of bounds. 1st down for the Mesa Machine. The crowd roars. Snap. Hands it off again for 11. They double team Van Noord with a cross buck block, and Van Noord tries to fill the hole, doesn't see that backside blocker clip him, And Dunning sneaks through, picks up 11 before the safety Brandeis can bring him down. Mesa Machine drops back, looks, fires, 15 yards, 10, 15. Unbelievable. It's been 10, 11, 15. The Mesa Machine are brutal. They snap the ball. It's going to be defense, 1 yard. There he is. Van Nord wraps up that fullback. Snap, looks, stops, flips it out on a fake. So he fakes it to the fullback, spins, and pitches it to Dunning, keeping Van Nord guessing. And he goes 9, -1, 8 yards and a first down, though. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it isn't a first down. 3rd and 1. So they managed to catch him. Van Nord is a step off of his game there, but he at least drags him down before the first. They snap the ball. It's a big run up the gut. The fullback breaks free for 16. Well, I'm going to leave it there because it may be called back. 16. I'm not called back. Does he? But if I flip a flag, does he score? 4. No. So 16 yards. 10. Down to the 19. 1st and 10 at the 19. The Mesa Machine are on fire. They snap the ball. It's going to be a run up the gut for 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. They want him running. Snaps the ball. He turns. He looks. He fires it into the end zone. Incomplete. 3rd down. Andrews wanted a touchdown there. The crowd gasps as that ball is too far. Snaps, turns, hands it off for 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4 on a draw play to Dunning. They're setting up the field goal. The kick is, let's see here. They're kicking it from the kick is good. From the 29-yarder, Nutter adds another kick with a 29-yard field goal at home. The crowd a little restless. They rather them score touchdowns, but that wraps up the 3rd quarter, folks. Mesa adds 6, and Dayton actually outscores them 7-6 in that quarter, despite Wallace's interception. Wallace gets a touchdown, and they kick 2 field goals, but folks, it is 23-17. The door is wide open in the 4th quarter for the Dayton Triangles to come back and win this game. It is 23-17. Unbelievable. It is a 6-point game. Wow. Is that right? 23-17. 6-point game. The Mesa Machine have got to be a little nervous about that, as they've allowed Dayton to hang around and be 6 points away from tying the game, 7 from taking the lead. Dayton gets the ball to start the 4th quarter. Mesa Machine will get it last in the 4th. That's part of the home field advantage. You know what you have to score. And if it ends in a tie, they're the first team to get the ball in sudden death overtime. That's how my rules work. Wow, unbelievable. What a game, folks. I really thought Mesa was going to run away with this when it was 17-7, and Dayton has found a way to hang around, making for a brilliant game. 23-17, start of the 4th quarter. Let's try to make sure we shuffle these as best we can. And we'll do one more good one here. I think that's pretty good. So ideally, I would love to have these manufactured on playing cards. You know, like Hoyle quality cards. They would last forever. They would shuffle. You could shuffle them like normal cards. But for prototypes, it's always great ways to check them. All right, kickoff to Dayton. This is big now. 8. 8 is going to be to the 9, so they got room. Can this kick returner make a difference? No. Offensive penalty flag, so that's going to be on the offensive team. So somebody jumped and they kicked it. This is the 2nd time today. The return is 10. It's going to be a good return of 19. That's going to put them at the 28. Do they want to make them kick it again? I don't think so. Dayton is not going to risk it. They're going to take that good field position. The average field position on these charts is going to leave you at about the 22-yard line. So 28 would be a wise decision for the head coach of Barnhart. So they wave off the flag and they take the return, and they're at the 28. With a touchdown and a PAT, Dayton will take a 1-point lead, folks, in the 4th. Oops, wrong side. Snaps the ball, hands it off up the gut. It's going to be 8 yards, but the ball is loose, folks. You got to be kidding me. As Robinson has dropped the ball and it's recovered by the defense. Robinson's 2nd fumble loss today. Fumble lost after 8. The distance downfield on this, or the return, I should say, the return 3 is 5 yards. So he's going to go 5 yards back to the 31. And let's go ahead and just find out who recovered that. 7. That's going to be Larkin. So the defensive lineman recovered that. The defensive tackle with the fumble recovery and the 5-yard return. And Mesa Machine now, that cost Dayton a possession and a chance at scoring. The Mesa Machine now have this game basically in the bag unless there's a pick 6. Barnhart gives Robinson a little pat on the top of his head, tells him to buck up. We got to finish this fourth quarter, man. We're not out of this yet. We're only down by 6. So Robinson doesn't have to panic, but boy, they're in a position to make this a 2-score game. Mesa, the crowd quiet. Andrews, you can hear him bark signals. It is quiet. Snaps the ball. He's going to drop back and throw the game-winning touchdown. Yep, 34-yard strike, 31-yard strike to Parks. As right there, Andrews puts the game on ice with a 31-yard pass to Parks. Killer instinct, folks. When you get a turnover and they're into the field, you shouldn't have the ball. You should take a shot. And they're going to make the extra point, PAT. That's points off turnovers. And Barnhart and Robinson now are feeling differently about that fumble because it has turned out to be the dagger in their heart. Holy cow. The kickoff, too, is touchback. And now Barnhart is going to be thinking about the offseason. How can he get more from his offense? They have the Defensive Player of the Year and the League MVP on defense, but they need to score more points. This team had a negative point differential, and that is not going to win championships, so they should be happy they're here on tiebreakers, but Dayton, now down by 13. They need a lot. Now, if they score here, they can kick an onside kick, get it, and score again. So it ain't over, but wow. Here it is. It's going to be an incomplete pass. He drops back, looks deep, trying to get it all in one shot. In there. It's going to be a run for 1 yard. Defense has no effect. 3rd down and 9. So it must have been a quarterback scramble. Snaps the ball, drops back. It could be a touchdown. Fat offense, no modifier. 13 yards, but it's a breakaway. For 11, 80 yards, they're going to score. 13 and 8, 93. Touchdown, 79 yards, 79 yards. Dayton gets it. Wallace with a 79-yard pass. So it was basically a catch and run. So he caught it at 13 and then juked between coverage men and took off, did Davis. And folks, the crowd here is stunned. The extra point is, it's good, but it was close. And Dayton has made this a ball game. They have no choice. They have to onside kick. They need an 11 or 12 to recover the onside kick. Onside's very simple. It just goes to the 45. And if I flip a 11 or 12, they recover it, and they'll get the final drive. No, that's it. Mesa's going to recover that onside kick. What a way, though, for Dayton to send a signal. We aren't out of this yet. We have to complete the drive in case there's a turnover that scores. So you have no choice. You got to finish the drive. So it could be running it up, but that's okay. Defense going to have a role here. So it's a completion for 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, my God. Andrews throws the ball in this situation. They throw it again for 10 and a first, and that's it. That's where I can end the game. In a kill clock situation, once they get a first down, we can kill the clock. And there it is, folks. Oh, my God. Robinson coughed it up. Wallace threw a bomb for 79 and a touchdown. But Andrews, not before Andrews had sealed their fate, 21-24 for the Dayton Triangles. And they did an amazing thing. They held Mesa to just 30 points. They averaged 33 a game. They held them to 30. Dayton falls to 7-7-1. Mesa goes to 13-2. And Mesa has now won 11 straight games. Mesa on an 11-game win streak. And I'm telling you, folks, you do not want to face Mesa in the playoffs. Holy cow, congratulations, Kevin and family, as their team advances. And John, you had a good year. Although you're down in your quality, you managed to still make a playoff run. And you managed to spook Mesa, which is no mean feat. Congratulations, both of you. And we will move on to Game 3 of the wild card round. Remember, 8 teams make it. They're seeded worst to first. This was the 7th versus the 2nd. And now we're going to see basically the matchup of the playoffs up till now. It's going to be the Carolina hosting Columbia Coolers. That is going to be an unbelievable game. Two teams that have, got Carolina, Plattsburgh moving into Carolina, stealing the Charlotte market, and running Columbia out of Carolinas. They're going to move across the country to Colorado next year. But wouldn't Columbia love to leave, having knocked the upstart Carolina crew out of the playoffs, and maybe win their third straight championship? Remember, Columbia is a two-time champ, back-to-back champs. They're going for a three-peat. And by the way, in our 28 years, we have never had a three-peat. So they would be the first team in our history to three-peat if Columbia can find a way to beat Carolina in their house, Oceans Stadium. And the Columbia Coolers, as anybody who's followed our league for any period knows, they are the team that no matter what is going on with their team, they manage somehow to wiggle out big games and big victories. They have won 8 titles in our history, some of them with teams that finished the season 500. So that's how dangerous Columbia can be. The Coolers are legendary in our little league. They have been the face of our league. And that's been kind of fun because it turns out it's also Dell's team. It's just fun that Dell's my business partner. It turns out his team has had great success. There's no collusion there, I promise. Goodbye.